When I was 19 years old is when I came to know the Lord. And it was me and my utter brokenness just fallen to the face of the ground, and it was where I felt like God wrapped his arms around me. I had an incredible earthly father who was very gracious to me, very loving to me, and was an incredible father to me. And yet, even in that, I think I did exactly what you're talking about, is I tried to work my way to God. I remember feeling so screwed up that I remember saying to him, you probably don't want me anymore. See, I'm no longer the good girl that I used to be. I'm now this messed up person, and you don't want me anymore. And I remember him just so gently telling me, I want you and I love you. And then I got married, and I thought marriage would solve all of my problems because I would be in a loving relationship and everything would be great. And everything was way more magnified. And I was a couple years into marriage, and a lot of things had happened. I was on birth control, and I gained a lot of weight, and just my hair was falling out. Like, a lot of where I had found my identity was stripped. And I remember being really broken. I was sitting in front of a mirror, and I remember just telling the Lord, how do you love this? She's falling apart. She's not a good wife. She's not a good person. Like, she's falling apart. How in the world do you love all of my pieces? And he said, because I created you. And I just remember that moment, he gave me these 3 simple words, and he said, let grace rule. And I thought, what in the world? But immediately I knew he meant let grace reign in your heart. Stop looking at yourself in a judgment way. Stop looking at the people around you, what you do, in a judging way. Start allowing grace to rule. And it gave me the power to be a wife. It gave me the power to be a daughter. It gave me the power to be a friend to others, because he spoke to me in that moment truth that I needed in all of my brokenness, that he loved me enough, and he said, let grace rule and reign in your heart, because you're tearing yourself down more than I ever would. And I just remember being so embraced by the Father's arms in that moment, and feeling truth overwhelm me, that grace could be the reigning place in my heart and in my mind.
I love that you said that. Elaine, I think so often Christianity and Christians have a false idea of what humility is. And we think godly humility is to make ourselves less. And that's not at all how God describes humility. Humility is not shame-based behavior. Humility is seeing God bigger. We actually stand up straighter with our shoulders straight and our heads lifted to this God who loves us no matter what. As Stephanie said, I drove Missy to school the other day. Her school has just started back with social distancing in place. She's in a little small school. There's only 12 kids to a class, so they're able to do it based on COVID guidelines. But we haven't been there, of course, since March. And so it's been all these months. I have definitely gained at least COVID-19 because I've been carbo loading as I've had this time of aloneness with God. He and I alone have had lots of chips and queso. And one of her little classmates looked at me, and very innocently, she meant nothing unkind by it, but one of Missy's little classmates went, oh, Miss Lisa, are you pregnant? And I was like, well, no, that would have definitely been, I haven't had a date in years, so that would have been just shocking. And I probably should have been embarrassed, that this little kid looked at me with my fluffy COVID self and thought I was pregnant. But as I got in the car to drive away from her school, I sensed the Lord, because weight is a shame thing for me. It very easily could have pressed on that shame bruise in my spirit. But it's like I heard the Lord through his Spirit say, Lisa, you don't have to hold your stomach in with me. I love you just the way you are. And I was just taken aback by his kindness. I don't think we take God at his word. I think most of us believe God is happier with us when we're performing well, as LoriAnn said. To actually rest in the fact that he loves us as much on our what we would call a bad day as he does on a good day. And I'm not at all saying sin is no big deal. Sin separates us from intimacy with God. So I'm not saying, oh, keep partying, keep doing unholy things. But I'm saying as we get closer and closer to Jesus and believe bigger and bigger that he adores us, we actually will get holy. We'll want to be more like Jesus, but us becoming holy is not about us behaving. It's actually about us believing more fully that the God of the universe thinks we're the bomb.
Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload. Thanks for being a part of our Better Together community.